The alien ship landed softly on the ancient ruins of what was once called New York City. Tall blue figures moved carefully among crumbling buildings that had somehow survived 5,000 years of abandonment. Dr. Sorthal, the lead archaeologist, adjusted his breathing mask and stepped onto the soil of Earth. This was his 10th visit to the dead world, but it still filled him with wonder. Fascinating creatures, these humans, he said to his assistant Vreen. So creative, yet so short-lived. A shame they didn't survive. Vreen nodded, her 4 eyes blinking in sequence. The Galactic Museum will be pleased with our findings, Doctor. The history books taught that humans had destroyed themselves in some great war or environmental disaster. Their civilization had flickered briefly in the cosmic night. Barely 2,000 years of technology before extinction. Now Earth was protected as a historical site, a monument to a species that had shown such promise before vanishing. Dr. Sorthal had made his career studying human artifacts. His team had uncovered music players, vehicles, and even some preserved books. But today they sought something bigger. Ancient sensor readings suggested a large structure hidden deep within a mountain range called the Himalayas. The transport is ready, Doctor, called one of the crew members. We can reach the mountain site before nightfall. Their ship rose again, flying over vast empty plains that had once been farms and cities. They passed over dried ocean beds and forests that had reclaimed human settlements. After 3 hours, they reached the massive mountains. The readings are strongest here, said Vreen, pointing to a flat area halfway up a mountain. There seems to be a metal door beneath the rock face. The team worked for hours, carefully removing rocks and dirt. By sunset, they had uncovered a massive metal door with faded symbols. Dr. Sorthal recognized the writing as English, one of the main human languages. It says, "Emergency access authorized personnel only," he translated. Fascinating. This must be a military installation. Dr. Sorthal couldn't contain his excitement. Most human military sites had been destroyed or looted thousands of years ago. This one was untouched. "Can we open it?" asked Vreen. "The door appears to have an electronic lock," said one of the technicians, "but I might be able to bypass it." While the technician worked, Dr. Sorthal imagined the academic papers he would write. Perhaps they would find weapons or documents explaining why humanity had disappeared. After an hour, the technician connected the final wire, and the ancient door slowly creaked open. "Amazing. It still has power after all these years," whispered Vreen. They entered cautiously, lights on their suits illuminating a long corridor that sloped down into the mountain. The air was stale but breathable. More surprisingly, emergency lights flickered on as they walked, responding to their movement. "This facility must have had its own power source," said Dr. Sorthal. "Perhaps nuclear or geothermal." They walked for 20 minutes, going deeper into the mountain. The corridor opened into a vast chamber that stretched further than their lights could reach. "Activate the hovering light drones," ordered Dr. Sorthal. As the drones rose and spread out, the alien explorers gasped. The chamber contained thousands of glass pods, each about the size of a human body. The pods were arranged in neat rows and connected to machines by tubes and wires. A thin layer of frost covered each pod's surface. "Doctor, I think there are humans inside these pods," said Vreen, her voice shaking. Dr. Sorthal rushed to the nearest pod and wiped away the frost. Inside was a human female, eyes closed, skin pale but intact. She looked as if she were merely sleeping. "Impossible," he whispered. "These humans have been here for thousands of years." "It's some kind of stasis technology," said the team's scientist. "They're not dead, they're preserved. Heart rate approximately 1 beat per month, brain activity minimal but present." Dr. Sorthal moved from pod to pod, examining the sleeping humans. Some wore uniforms, others plain clothes. There were young and old, all perfectly preserved. "This changes everything," he said. "Humanity didn't go extinct. They went into hibernation." Vreen had moved to a central platform with screens and controls. "Doctor, I think this is the control system." Dr. Sorthal joined her, studying the ancient human technology. "Don't touch anything yet. We need to understand what we're seeing." But Vreen's Curiosity got the better of her. She accidentally brushed against a panel and the screen suddenly lit up with flashing red symbols. "What did you do?" demanded Dr. Sorthal. "Nothing. I barely touched it." Vreen stepped back, frightened. A mechanical voice spoke in the human language called English. "Alert. Unauthorized presence detected. Initiating security protocols. Reviving Guardian Alpha." One pod near the center of the room began to glow. Ice melted quickly from its surface and fluids drained through tubes. The machine connected to it hummed loudly. "We should leave," said the security officer. "Now." "No," said Dr. Sorthal firmly. "This is the discovery of a lifetime. We stay." The pod's glass cover slid open, releasing a cloud of steam. The human inside, a female with red hair, took a sudden deep breath. Her eyes opened wide, looking around in confusion. "Vital signs stabilizing," announced the mechanical voice. "Guardian Alpha revival complete." The woman sat up slowly, coughing. She looked at the aliens with narrowed eyes, but showed no fear. She spoke, her voice rough from long disuse. "Who are you? How long?" she asked. Dr. Sorthal stepped forward. "I am Dr. Sorthal of the Galactic Archaeological Society. We discovered this facility. As for how long, according to our records, humans have been considered extinct for approximately 5,000 years." The woman closed her eyes for a moment, absorbing this information. When she opened them again, they were clear and focused. "My name is Kate Russell. I was supposed to wake up after 1,000 years." She looked at the thousands of pods around her. "I need to check the systems and wake my team." She tried to stand but stumbled. Dr. Xorthal moved to help her, but she waved him away, grabbing the edge of the pod for support. 5,000 years, she whispered. "We slept too long?" Kate made her way to the control panel, her movements becoming more steady with each step. She placed her hand on a scanner, and the flashing red lights changed to green. "Computer, status report," she commanded. "Welcome, Guardian Alpha," responded the mechanical voice. "All systems functional. 10 to 372 humans in stable preservation. Warning, primary revival schedule missed. Gamma radiation levels now within acceptable parameters. Earth is habitable again." Kate turned to the aliens. "The gamma ray burst. Did your people record it?" "Yes," said Dr. Sorthal. "The Great Flash occurred approximately 5,200 years ago. It stripped away much of Earth's atmosphere temporarily." Kate nodded. "We knew it was coming. We couldn't stop it, so we hid. The plan was to wake up after the radiation levels dropped." She looked at the control panel. But something went wrong with the automated systems. She began typing rapidly on the keyboard. "I'm waking my command team now. 4 pods only." 4 pods near Kate's began the same revival process. While they worked, Kate studied the aliens carefully. "So humanity is considered extinct?" she asked. "Yes," replied Dr. Sorthal. "Your cities are in ruins. Your satellites have fallen. Earth is preserved as a historical monument." A slight smile touched Kate's lips. "Just Earth? What about Mars, the Moon, the outer system?" Dr. Sorthal blinked in surprise. "There were small human outposts there, but they were abandoned." Kate's smile grew wider. "Is that what your history says?" Before Dr. Sorthal could answer, the 4 pods opened. 2 men and 2 women sat up, disoriented but quickly becoming alert. "Kate," said one of the men. "Did it work? Are we alive?" "We're alive, Alan," Kate replied, "but we overslept by about 4,000 years." She gestured to the aliens. "And we have company." Alan looked at the blue aliens, then back at Kate. "The emergency protocols?" Kate nodded. "Computer confirms they're active, just waiting for our signal." She turned back to Dr. Sorthal, her expression now serious and commanding. "Doctor, your discovery today wasn't just a few sleeping humans. You've awakened something that's been waiting patiently for thousands of years." Her eyes were hard and determined now. "Humanity isn't extinct. We were just asleep, and now the beast is awake." 3 months had passed since Kate Russell and her team awoke from their long sleep. The hidden facility in the Himalayas now buzzed with activity. 200 humans walked its halls, all revived from stasis under Kate's careful supervision. Dr. Sorthal and his team remained as both guests and informal prisoners, their ship secured in one of the facility's large underground hangars. Kate sat at a round table with her inner circle, Alan Martinez, who had designed much of the stasis technology, Diane Powell, a fierce woman with military training, Gregory Winters, who spent every waking moment learning the current galactic language from Dr. Zorthal, and Olivia Grant, their medical expert who monitored the health of awakened humans. "The aliens think humanity only reached Mars before we went extinct," said Kate. "They have no idea about our outer system bases." Alan nodded. "I've sent encrypted wake-up signals to our Mars facility. The automated systems are responding. We should have production of basic materials within weeks." "What about weapons?" asked Diane, always focused on defense. "Not yet," said Kate. "We need to be careful. Dr. Sorthal's people don't know we were a major military power. I want to keep it that way until we know more about the current galactic situation." Gregory cleared his throat. "Speaking of which, I've been studying their information networks. The current galactic community includes 27 major species. Most of them live under the influence of something called the Void Collective." Kate frowned. "Tell me about this collective." "They appeared about 4,000 years ago," said Gregory. "They spread through trade at first, then cultural influence, then direct control. They're not military conquerors. They take over economies. And minds." "Minds?" asked Olivia. "They have some kind of technology that makes other species loyal to them," explained Gregory. "Not complete mind control, but strong influence. Several species are fighting against them as part of a loose alliance called the Free Systems." Stared at the star map displayed on the wall. "What about our old enemy? The ones who sent the gamma-ray burst?" The room fell silent. Before humanity had gone into stasis, they had fought a bitter war against an alien force that had tried to sterilize Earth with the artificial gamma-ray burst. The war had ended in stalemate, with humanity going into hibernation to survive the radiation while setting traps throughout the solar system. "I think," said Gregory carefully, "the Void Collective might be them. The timing fits. The methods are different, but the goal of controlling other species is the same." Alan stood up and walked to a computer terminal. "I've been examining Dr. Zorthal's ship. Their technology is advanced in some ways, primitive in others. Their faster-than-light travel is better than what we had, but their weapons and computing technology are weaker." "Can we trust Dr. Sorthal?" asked Diane. "He keeps asking to send a message to his people." Kate shook her head. "Not yet. He's a scientist, not a soldier. I think he's honest, but we can't risk exposure until we're stronger." The meeting was interrupted when a young technician rushed in. "Commander Russell, we've detected an energy signal from Europa." Kate stood quickly. "What kind of signal?" "It's one of our stasis facilities," said the technician. "But the signal is a distress call. Someone found it." Kate and her team rushed to the control room. On the main screen, they could see data streaming from Jupiter's moon Europa, billions of miles away. Their advanced sensors, hidden throughout the solar system and now slowly waking up, showed an alien ship hovering over the icy moon. "They're drilling," said Alan, pointing to the energy readings. "They've found the Europa facility." Kate's face hardened. "How many humans are stored there?" 5,000, replied Olivia. "Plus the central database of human knowledge and history." "We can't let them take it," said Diane firmly. Kate turned to Alan. "What combat assets do we have ready?" Alan hesitated. "Only the stealth ships hidden in Saturn's rings might be operational, but we'd need to send a team to activate them manually. The automated wake-up may have failed after so many years. How long would that take?" 2 weeks at minimum, using Dr. Xorthal's ship secretly. Kate paced the room, thinking hard. "Not fast enough. They'll have breached the facility by then." The doors opened and Dr. Sorthal entered, escorted by 2 human guards. His 4 eyes blinked nervously. "Commander Russell," he said. "I couldn't help overhearing. I believe I know who found your Europa facility." Kate crossed her arms. Tell me. The energy signature matches Void Collective technology, he said. They're always searching for advanced technology from extinct species. If they've found your facility, they'll experiment on my sleeping people, finished Kate. Her voice was cold. Thank you for confirming what we suspected, Doctor. She turned to her team. We need a new plan. Diane, prepare a team of our best revived soldiers. Gregory, you'll join them since you understand their language. Alan, is there any way to remotely activate any of our hidden weapons platforms? Alan typed rapidly on the computer. Maybe. The automated defense satellite near Jupiter might still work. But activating it would reveal our technological level to anyone watching. We're out of options, said Kate. Do it. Alan nodded and began the complex process of sending encrypted signals to wake the ancient weapon. On the screen they watched as the alien ship continued drilling into Europa's icy surface. Dr. Sorthal stepped forward. Commander, I want to help. The Void Collective are not my allies. They've taken over many worlds, including some of my people's colonies. Kate studied the alien scientist carefully. Why should I trust you? Because I believe in knowledge, not conquest, he replied. When I came to Earth, I sought to study a fascinating extinct species. Instead, I found living humans. This changes galactic history. The Void Collective would suppress this discovery. They'd rather destroy you than let you return to the galactic stage. Kate was silent for a long moment. What are you offering? My ship's communication system can connect to the galactic network. I can contact allies, species who resist the collective. The free systems would be interested in an alliance with humanity. An alliance? Diane scoffed. We don't need allies, we need time to wake our military. You misunderstand the current galaxy, said Dr. Zorthal. The Void Collective controls thousands of worlds. Even your impressive technology can't fight them alone. Alan interrupted. The defense platform is active, firing in 30 seconds. On the screen, a small dot detached from Jupiter's orbit and moved toward the alien ship at Europa. The collective ship didn't detect it until too late. A bright flash of energy struck the ship, disabling its engines. Direct hit, said Alan. Their ship is crippled but not destroyed. They'll send reinforcements, warned Dr. Sorthal. You've just announced your presence to the collective. Kate looked around at her team, then back at the alien scientist. Then we don't have much time. Dr. Zorthal, I accept your offer. Contact the free systems. Tell them humanity has returned and we're ready to join their fight. She turned to Diane. Prepare a rescue mission to Europa. We need to secure that facility and evacuate our people before the collective returns in force. As her team rushed to follow orders, Kate walked to the window overlooking the revival chamber where more humans were waking each day. 5,000 years had passed, but humanity's old enemy remained. Only now, the hunters would become the hunted. We'll need to accelerate our plans, she said quietly. Wake all the sleepers. Activate all the factories and shipyards. The beast doesn't just stir now, it roars. 1 year had passed since Kate Russell first opened her eyes to a changed galaxy. The hidden base in the Himalayas now housed over 200 awakened humans working day and night. Their greatest victory had been the rescue mission to Europa 3 months ago. Against all odds, Alan had led a small team using Dr. Sorthal's ship, recovered the 5,000 sleeping humans, and brought back the central database of human knowledge. Today, Kate stood on a platform overlooking a massive hangar built inside an asteroid in the belt between Mars and Jupiter. Workers moved around huge machines that built smaller machines. The asteroid manufacturing facility had been hidden for 5,000 years, protected by stealth technology that made it look like just another space rock. Production is at 60% capacity, said Alan, checking his tablet. We should have a fleet of scout ships ready within 2 months. Kate nodded. And the Europa sleepers? All safe, said Olivia, who had joined them. We've revived about 200 of them so far. The rest remain in stasis until we have room and resources for them. The rescue mission had been close. Alan's team had arrived just hours before a larger collective fleet. They had managed to extract all the stasis pods and the central database before destroying the facility to hide the evidence. The collective ships had found only an empty base and assumed whatever they were looking for had been moved long ago. "Commander Russell," called a voice. Gregory walked toward them with Dr. Zorthal. "The Free Systems representatives have arrived." Kate took a deep breath. This meeting could decide humanity's future. "Let's not keep them waiting." They walked to a large meeting room where three very different alien beings waited. The first looked like a giant insect with 6 limbs and compound eyes. The second was a blue humanoid with gills and webbed hands. The third seemed to be made of glowing energy contained in a special suit. "Commander Russell," said Dr. Zorthal, "may I present Ambassador Krivek of the Vrektal, Ambassador Nolu of the Mershon, and Ambassador Luminar of the Luminar Collective." Kate stepped forward. "Welcome to our facility. Thank you for coming such a long way in secret." The insect-like Krivek clicked its mandibles. "When Dr. Zorthal told us humans had survived, we were doubtful. Your species was thought extinct for millennia. Yet here you stand," said the glowing Luminar, its voice musical and strange. "A ghost from the past." "Not ghosts," said Kate firmly. "Survivors. We went into hibernation to escape a weapon used against us by the ones you now call the Void Collective." The blue Nolu leaned forward. "You claim the collective existed 5,000 years ago, and that you fought them?" "We did more than fight them," said Kate. "We nearly defeated them. They used a weapon of last resort, an artificial gamma-ray burst aimed at our sun. We couldn't stop it, but we prepared for it. Our people went into stasis while the radiation made Earth uninhabitable. We should have awakened after 1,000 years, but our systems malfunctioned." The three ambassadors exchanged looks. Krivek spoke again. "These are bold claims. Do you have proof?" Kate nodded to Alan, who activated a large screen on the wall. "This is from our central database, footage from the last battle before we went into hibernation." The screen showed space filled with ships. Human vessels, sleek and powerful, fought against strange organic-looking ships. Energy weapons fired back and forth. A massive human dreadnought cut through enemy lines before being surrounded and destroyed. "That was the final battle near Neptune," said Kate. "We fought to buy time for the stasis project to be completed." The footage changed to show the sun suddenly flaring with terrible brightness. Sensors showed radiation levels rising to lethal levels. "The gamma ray burst," said Kate quietly. "Targeted and artificial. They couldn't defeat us conventionally, so they changed the rules." The ambassadors watched in silence as the video ended. Finally, Luminar spoke. "This matches our oldest records of the collective's rise to power. They appeared suddenly 5,000 years ago with technology that shouldn't have existed. Many believed they had stolen it from somewhere." "From us," said Diane. "They scavenged what they could from our outer bases after the burst." Nolu's gills fluttered. "If what you say is true, this changes everything. But what do you want from us? You seem to have powerful technology." "We have technology, yes," admitted Kate. "But we're few in number. Only about 20,000 humans are awake so far. The collective controls hundreds of worlds and trillions of beings. We need allies." "And information," added Gregory. "We need to understand the current galaxy, politics, military strength, weaknesses in the collective's control." The insect Krivek clicked thoughtfully. "Your weapons in that video are more advanced than anything we have now, except perhaps the collective's mind control technology. If you have such weapons—" "We do," said Kate. She pressed a button, and part of the wall slid away, revealing a window overlooking another hangar. Inside sat a sleek black ship about the size of a small building. "That's a Nightshade-class stealth destroyer. It can outrun anything in space and carries enough firepower to level a city." The ambassadors stared at the ship with a mixture of fear and hope. "If we combine our forces," said Kate, "we might have a chance against the collective." The three ambassadors moved away to discuss privately. Kate turned to her team. "Do you think they'll help us?" asked Alan. "They're afraid," said Dr. Zorthal. "Afraid of the collective, but also afraid of you. Humanity suddenly returning with advanced weapons? Some will see you as saviors, others as a new threat." After several minutes, the ambassadors returned. Nolu spoke first. "We will bring your proposal to the Free Systems Council, but we need a gesture of good faith. Proof that humanity means to help, not conquer." Kate thought for a moment. "The collective has a research station in the Proxima system. Our long-range sensors show they're developing new mind control technology there. If we destroyed it together, would that convince you?" The ambassadors looked surprised. Luminar's light pulsed brighter. "You know about the Proxima station? We've been trying to find a way to attack it for years." "We've been monitoring it," said Kate. "We can provide the transport and weapons. You provide the local knowledge and personnel." Krivek's mandibles clicked rapidly. "A joint mission? Interesting. If successful, it would certainly prove your commitment. And deal a blow to the collective," added Diane with a smile. "Then we have an agreement?" asked Kate. The three ambassadors nodded in their different ways. "We leave in 3 days," said Kate. "Gregory and Diane will coordinate with your teams." As the meeting broke up, Kate walked back to the window overlooking the manufacturing floor. Dr. Zorthal joined her. "You've taken a significant step today," he said. "For better or worse, humanity has rejoined galactic affairs." Kate watched workers assembling a weapon that could destroy a small moon. "The galaxy forgot about us, Doctor, but we never forgot our enemy. The collective thought they finished us with their gamma-ray burst. Now they'll learn their mistake." Below them, the machines continued building, preparing for a war 5,000 years in the making. Humanity wasn't just awake, it was arming. 3 years had passed since Kate Russell first awoke from her long sleep. Humanity's hidden bases throughout the solar system hummed with activity. Over 50,000 humans now worked to rebuild their civilization. The joint mission with the Free Systems to destroy the collective's research station had been a complete success. The alliance grew stronger with each passing month, but Kate knew they needed more. The Void Collective had noticed the growing resistance. Their ships patrolled, more frequently near Free System worlds. Something big was missing from humanity's arsenal: their military leadership. Kate stood on the bridge of the Nightshade, the stealth destroyer that had proven so effective in their raids against collective outposts. The ship moved silently through the outer reaches of the solar system, approaching Neptune's largest moon, Triton. "Are you sure about this?" asked Alan. "The facility might be damaged after all this time." Kate nodded. "The long-range scans show it's intact. Just dormant, like all our bases were." Dr. Zorthal, who had become a trusted advisor, looked out at the icy moon growing larger in the view screen. "What exactly is on Triton?" "Our military command center," said Kate, "and 10,000 of humanity's greatest military minds and soldiers." Diane checked the ship's sensors. "No collective ships in the area. We're clear to approach." The Nightshade slipped into orbit around Triton. From space, the moon looked like any other icy world, its surface scarred with craters and cracks. But Kate knew better. Deep beneath the frozen nitrogen surface lay humanity's greatest secret, the military heart of their civilization. "Take us down," ordered Kate. The ship descended toward a flat plain of ice. As they approached, a section of the surface suddenly split open, revealing a massive hangar bay. The Nightshade landed inside, and the ice closed above them. "Automated." "Systems still work," said Alan with relief. "That's a good sign." Kate led her team through dark corridors. Emergency lights flickered on as they walked, responding to their presence. The air was thin, but breathable. "The facility was damaged," noted Diane, pointing to a collapsed section of wall. "Looks like a meteor impact at some point." "As long as the stasis pods are intact," said Kate. They reached a sealed door with a handprint scanner. Kate placed her palm on it, and the ancient system hummed to life. "Guardian Alpha recognized," said a mechanical voice. "Welcome back, Commander Russell." The door opened to reveal a vast chamber much like the one in the Himalayan base, but larger. Row after row of stasis pods stretched into the distance. In the center of the room stood a raised platform with a single chair, a command station. "Power. Levels at 40%, said Alan, checking a control panel. "The reactor is still functioning." "Life support functional in all sections," added Olivia. who had joined the mission to oversee the medical aspects. Kate approached the command chair and sat down. Screens lit up around her, displaying the status of the facility. "Argus Facility Status Report," she ordered. A hologram appeared beside the chair, a stylized human face made of light. "Argus Artificial Intelligence Online. Facility suffered minor damage from comet impact in year 3457. 18 stasis pods compromised. All other systems functional at reduced capacity. Military personnel in stable hibernation. Begin revival process for the command staff," ordered Kate, starting with Fleet Admiral Reeves. "Acknowledged," said Argus. "Initiating revival sequence." A pod near the center of the room began to glow. The team watched as the revival process began, the same process that had awakened Kate 3 years earlier. "Who is this Admiral Reeves?" asked Dr. Zorthal. "Samuel Reeves," said Kate. "The highest-ranking military officer in the hibernation program. He commanded our space forces during the war with the Collective." The pod opened with a hiss of escaping air. Inside lay an older man with gray hair and a weathered face. His eyes opened suddenly, alert and intense. "Status report," he demanded, his voice surprisingly strong for someone who had just awakened from a 5,000-year sleep. Kate stepped forward. "Admiral Reeves, I'm Commander Kate Russell, Guardian Alpha. The date is approximate Earth year 7257. You've been in stasis for over 5,000 years. The Admiral's eyes widened, then narrowed. 5,000. The automatic revival was set for 1,000. "There was a malfunction," explained Kate. "I was awakened 3 years ago when an alien archaeological team discovered our Himalayan facility." Admiral Reeves sat up, taking in the team around him, his gaze stopping on Dr. Zorthal. "And this is?" "Dr. Zorthal, an ally," said Kate. "The situation is complex, Admiral. The enemy we fought, now called the Void Collective, has become the dominant power in the galaxy." The Admiral stood, refusing Olivia's offer of assistance. "Then we're at war. What forces do we have ready?" Kate outlined their progress. The awakened humans, the reactivated manufacturing facilities, the alliance with the free systems. Reeves listened with growing impatience. "Not enough," he said when she finished. "We need to activate the Thunderchild." The room fell silent. Alan looked shocked. "The Thunderchild? It survived?" "What is this Thunderchild?" asked Dr. Zorthal. "Our greatest warship," said Reeves. His eyes gleamed with fierce pride. 15 kilometers long, armed with enough firepower to destroy a small moon. We hit it in the Kuiper Belt before the gamma ray burst. Kate looked concerned. "Admiral, we've been building slowly, carefully. The Collective doesn't know the full extent of our return. Activating something like the Thunderchild would announce our presence to the entire galaxy." "They already know we're back," said Reeves dismissively. "Your raids against their outposts made sure of that. The time for hiding is over, Commander." Before Kate could respond, Argus spoke. "Alert. Unknown ships entering the Neptune system. Configuration matches Void Collective vessels." "How many?" demanded Kate. 23 ships detected," said Argus. "Largest vessel is approximately 2 kilometers in length." Reeves smiled grimly. "They've found us. Good. Now we can show them what humanity does to those who try to wipe us out." He turned to Kate. "Commander, I'm assuming tactical command as of now. We need to wake the military personnel immediately and activate all hidden defense systems in the outer system." Kate hesitated only briefly before nodding. "Yes, Admiral." Reeves began issuing orders rapidly. "Wake the senior officers. Activate the automated defense platforms around Neptune. Prepare the Nightshade for battle." Dr. Zorthal pulled Kate aside. "Is this wise? Open conflict with the Collective will bring their full forces against you." "Admiral Reeves led us through the darkest days of the First War," said Kate. "I trust his judgment." "He's been asleep for 5,000 years," said Dr. Zorthal. "The galaxy has changed, but our enemy hasn't," replied Kate. "They tried to exterminate us then. They'll try again now if they get the chance." Alarms began to sound throughout the facility. On the screens, They could see the collective ships approaching. Neptune. They're launching landing craft toward Triton, reported Diane. Reeves smiled coldly. Let them come. Argus, execute Protocol Lazarus. Authorization Reeves Alpha 770. Protocol Lazarus confirmed, said Argus. Throughout the outer solar system, dormant defense systems suddenly activated. Weapons platforms hidden in the rings of Saturn powered up. Missile silos on the moons of Uranus opened. And in the distant Kuiper belt, a massive shape began to stir, awakening after 5 millennia of sleep. What have you done? Asked Kate. I've awakened the beast, said Reeves. All of it. The Battle of Sol raged for 3 days. It began when the Void Collective fleet approached Neptune, unaware of what awaited them. Admiral Reeves had activated every hidden weapon in the outer solar system. Ancient defense platforms, dormant for millennia, opened fire. Missile silos on distant moons launched swarms of weapons. The collective ships, caught by surprise, lost 7 vessels in the first hour. But the true shock came on the second day. From the distant Kuiper belt, a massive shape appeared. The Thunderchild, humanity's greatest warship, emerged from its long sleep. 15 kilometers of metal and weapons, it dwarfed the largest collective ship. Its weapons tore through the enemy fleet like paper. Kate stood on the bridge of the Nightshade, watching the battle unfold on the main screen. Beside her, Admiral Reeves directed the human forces with cold precision. They're retreating, reported Diane from the tactical station. The remaining collective ships are jumping to faster than light speed. Let them go, ordered Reeves. Let them tell their masters what they found here. Kate turned to the Admiral. They'll be back with a larger force. Counting on it, said Reeves with a grim smile. The Thunderchild needs a proper fight. Dr. Zorthal, who had watched the battle, in stunned silence, finally spoke. This changes everything. No one has defeated a collective fleet in centuries. News of the battle spread rapidly through the galaxy. The Free Systems ambassadors contacted Kate immediately, their messages a mixture of celebration and concern. The collective is mobilizing, reported Ambassador Nolu of the Mershon. Their central worlds are in chaos. Some of their subject species are already beginning to resist. Your victory has inspired rebellions on 12 worlds, added Ambassador Krivek of the Rektal. But the collective will respond with terrible force. Kate knew they were right. The hidden base on Triton had become humanity's command center. 10,000 military personnel had been awakened, with more reviving each day. Ships long hidden throughout the solar system were being reactivated. Gregory rushed into the command room where Kate was meeting with Admiral Reeves and the other human leaders. You need to see this, he said, activating the main screen. I've been digging through the central database, cross-referencing with Dr. Zorthal's historical records. The screen showed ancient footage of what appeared to be humans in laboratories. The date stamp showed it was from before the stasis period. This is from the final days before the gamma ray burst, explained Gregory. Our scientists were working on something called Project Mindshield. I remember that, said Reeves. It was theoretical, a way to block the collective's mind control technology. Gregory nodded excitedly. Yes, but I don't think it was just theoretical. According to these records, they completed a prototype. Kate leaned forward. Where is it now? That's the interesting part, said Gregory. It was sent to a secret facility on Mars. If it's still there, we could break the collective's control over their subject species, finished Kate. We need to find it. 3 days later, as Reeves prepared the fleet for the coming battle, Kate led a small team to Mars. The red planet had been transformed over the millennia. Parts of it had been terraformed by later alien visitors, then abandoned. They landed near the coordinates from the database. The facility should be beneath that mountain ridge, said Alan, checking his scanner. They found the entrance hidden beneath centuries of red dust. Inside, the air was stale but breathable. The team moved carefully through dark corridors until they reached a sealed vault door. Requires palm recognition, said Kate, examining the control panel. Try yours, suggested Olivia. If you were designated Guardian Alpha, you might have access. Kate placed her hand on the scanner. After a moment, the ancient door rumbled open. Inside was a single pedestal holding a small device that looked like a silver sphere. "Project Mindshield," whispered Alan reverently. "It actually exists." They carefully transported the device back to the Triton base. Scientists and engineers immediately began studying it. "It's incredible," explained Alan to Kate and Reeves. "It generates a field that blocks the specific frequencies the collective uses for their mind control. With modifications, we could extend its range to cover entire planets." "How soon can it be ready?" asked Reeves. "For small-scale use?" "Days. For planetary coverage?" "Weeks." But they didn't have weeks. The collective's response came sooner than expected. Over 100 ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Among them was a massive vessel unlike any they had seen before. 20 kilometers long, bristling with weapons. "The Harbinger," said Dr. Zorthal, his voice shaking. "The collective's command ship. It's never been deployed except in the most extreme cases." Reeves studied the tactical display. "They've committed their primary forces." "Good." "Good?" echoed Kate. "Even the Thunderchild can't fight that many ships alone." "It won't be alone," said Reeves. With a gesture, he activated another screen showing the entire solar system. Across it, dozens of signals appeared, moving toward the outer system. "I've activated everything we had. Every ship, every weapons platform, every defense system." Kate stared at the display in awe. "I didn't know we had so many assets hidden." "We prepared thoroughly before going into stasis," said Reeves. "We knew our enemy might still be waiting when we woke." The greatest space battle in galactic history began. The next day, human ships clashed with collective vessels throughout the outer system. The Thunderchild engaged the Harbinger directly, the two massive ships firing world-ending weapons at each other. Meanwhile, Kate led a smaller mission. Using the stealth capabilities of the Nightshade, her team slipped past the battle lines toward the Harbinger. Their goal: to board the collective command ship and deploy the Mindshield device at its heart. "If we can activate it inside their command ship, it could disrupt control of their entire fleet," explained Kate to her strike team. The Nightshade docked with the massive Harbinger during the chaos of battle. Kate, Diane, Gregory, and a team of soldiers fought their way through the ship's corridors. The interior was strange, organic yet mechanical, with pulsing lights and surfaces that seemed almost alive. "The command center should be ahead," said Gregory, consulting a scanner. "But these readings, there's something strange about the life signs." They burst into the Harbinger's vast bridge. What they saw stopped them in their tracks. The command center wasn't filled with aliens as they expected. Instead, a single massive entity occupied the center of the room. A writhing mass of tentacles and technology connected to the ship itself. "What is that thing?" whispered Diane. "The true face of the collective," said Gregory, his voice shaking. "Not a group of aliens. A single parasitic consciousness that controls everything." The entity turned what appeared to be a head toward them. A booming voice filled their minds. "Humans, after all these millennia, you return. We remember you." Kate stepped forward, the Mindshield device clutched in her hands. "And we remember you. What you did to our world. To our people." "We did what was necessary," said the entity. "Your kind was too dangerous to allow in the galaxy. Too independent. Too resistant to control. And now we're back," said Kate. She activated the Mindshield. The effect was immediate. The entity shrieked in pain. Throughout the ship, sounds of confusion echoed as crew members suddenly found themselves free of the collective's mental influence. "What have you done?" demanded the entity. "Broken your control," said Kate. "Your ships are now crewed by beings who can think for themselves." The battle outside was turning. As the Mindshield's effect spread, more and more collective ships stopped, fighting or turned on their former masters. The entity lashed out in rage, a tentacle striking toward Kate. Diane fired her weapon, severing the limb. The creature shrieked again. "You cannot stop us," it hissed. "We are eternal." Nothing is eternal, said Kate. She placed the mind shield device on the floor and set it to overload. We need to go, now. Her team retreated to the nightshade as the mind shield's power built to dangerous levels. They detached from the Harbinger just as the device exploded, sending waves of energy throughout the massive ship. The collective entity's mental connection to its forces was permanently severed. The Battle of Sol ended with humanity victorious. The collective forces, freed from control, surrendered or fled. The Harbinger drifted powerless, its central intelligence destroyed. In the months that followed, humanity emerged as a new power in the galaxy. Some feared them, others welcomed them as liberators. Kate worked to form a new alliance with the Free Systems and the liberated collective worlds. Admiral Reeves, standing on the bridge of the Thunderchild, looked out at the stars. What now, Commander Russell? Kate joined him at the viewport. We rebuild, we explore, we make sure nothing like the collective can ever threaten the galaxy again. And if new threats arise? Kate smiled. Then they'll learn what happens when you awaken the beast.